Hello everybody and welcome to another video on the Pole Position YouTube channel. In this video we are going to be looking at the first race weekend of the F1 season for 2021. Yep, it's already come around quickly. In this week we will be doing, this video is going out on Monday, and we will be looking at who will impress on the first race weekend of the season. The first episode of the Pole Position podcast is also coming out this week. It should be on Wednesday, and then on the Friday just before the race we will put a clip out of one of the highlights of the podcast, so stay tuned for that throughout the week. But yeah, this video will be around who I think will be the best performers of the first race weekend of the season. So without further ado, let's get into the video. So yes, we have seen testing, that was a couple of weeks ago now, at the Bahrain circuit, different times in terms of weather conditions. I'm not expecting a sandstorm to take place at the first actual race weekend of the season either. So we will see different things, maybe from different teams as well, throughout the first race weekend of the year. We obviously know that Mercedes struggled at testing, Aston Martin also struggled at testing, and then you look at the opposite side with Red Bull and Alpha Tauri having a fantastic winter test. Now, obviously, I still think Red Bull and Alpha Tauri are going to be strong. I've obviously gone with the predictions, which will come out in the podcast on Wednesday as well. But I think Red Bull will have a strong race weekend. I still think Mercedes will be close to them, but I think Red Bull will probably be the best team on the grid. But obviously, you'll see my main predictions on Wednesday and maybe Friday as well this week. But in terms of who I think will be more impressive, I think Aston Martin, we didn't see the best of them over the winter testing, and I think Sebastian Vettel in particular, he's obviously gone on to say after the 3-day test that if it was 10 years ago he would be panicking because he hasn't had enough run time, and especially with the shortened days as well for it going to 3 days. Usually winter testing in Barcelona is 6 or 8 days, so there hasn't been much run time, and if you have any issues and maybe reliability problems, I think Aston Martin had a couple of gearbox issues throughout the 3-day test. It is going to hamper your run times and your lap counts. Sebastian Vettel, I think, only managed 117 laps over the 3-day period. Pierre Gasly, did more than that on his final day. So yeah, it wasn't a great sort of 3 days for Sebastian Vettel. But I think we're going to go into the first race. Hopefully they've ironed out them issues that they had over testing, and Aston Martin are going to come back stronger for the first race weekend. We know the car itself is fast around that circuit. And then the outer ring, Sergio Perez actually won in that car last year. So I know there's been a few tweaks and changes, but fundamentally it's still that Racing Point car from last year. So Aston Martin should be strong at Bahrain, and I think Lance Stroll and Sebastian Vettel will be quick on the in the car on the weekend. So look out for Sebastian Vettel. Again, testing might not highlight it as much, but I think going into qualifying on the Saturday and then in the race, we will see the true pace of not just Aston Martin, but all the cars in general. I also want to make a point for McLaren. Now, they had a really good test. The car looked good, the drivers looked happy, and the way that the Mercedes power unit has been intertwined into the actual chassis and the McLaren car. We know they've used most of their tokens for it, but that looked good as well. And we've obviously heard talk about in the paddock that the team at McLaren, the engineers and the technicians are really happy with how the Mercedes engine has come into the car. So it's all looking rosy for McLaren, and obviously being a McLaren fan, I want to see them be as good as I'm hoping them to be this season. But I think they will be strong. I think Daniel Ricciardo and Lando Norris will hopefully hit the ground running for the first race weekend. They look strong in Bahrain in general as well. So who knows? I think McLaren will be strong. I think their man Aston Martin, if I bring them back in, will be two that will be battling out for just off the podium places. I think we could have issues where maybe the Red Bull or Mercedes retires, maybe there's an incident, and they're there to pounce on the podium. We saw Lando Norris do it last year at the first race in Austria as well. So if both of them, either Aston Martin or McLaren, are there to pounce, who knows who could be up on the podium for the first race of the season. But yeah, keep an eye out for McLaren. And again, I think a shout really needs to go to Williams. We know they're still technically going to be at the back of the grid, but I think with the way that Haas are already saying that they're not going to be developing the car for this year, that we know that Williams are, and Williams have been developing. They've been bringing in new structures. They're taking more parts from Mercedes this year. So they're ultimately going to be, I think, higher than Haas this year, and maybe even challenging Alfa Romeo, possibly Ferrari. We don't know where Ferrari are. I don't want to put Ferrari in that bracket, but it possibly is, because Kimi was fighting alongside the Ferraris at Alfa Romeo last year. So we're not sure where Ferrari are going to be at this moment in time, but it could be that Williams are fighting in and around them and their Alfa Romeos this year. I think Haas are going to be at the back of the grid, and I think Williams have made that extra step. So look out for them for the first race weekend as well. But yeah, ultimately, and I think the other ones you need to look out for are, of course, Mercedes. Now, we know that they have had a poor winter test. Valtteri Bottas hardly got out. I think he did 4 or 6 laps of the first day. It got better as it progressed, but they still had the lowest amount of running for any of the teams out there for the 3-day test. So keep an eye out for Mercedes. We all know they're going to be strong. That to have the issues at testing is actually the best time, because you can iron out the issues before the season starts, and we know usually Mercedes are so dominant, so reliable, and they've got 2 really top quality drivers in their team. So ultimately we know Mercedes are going to be there, but I had to put them in there because they had such a bad test. But of course, watch out for Mercedes. And yep, so they are my teams to look out for. And of course, drivers, I think Sebastian Vettel is going to be the main one, because of the less run time he had at winter testing. Let me know your thoughts. Who do you think is going to be the best team to impress at the first race in Bahrain? Who do you think is going to be the best driver as well? I've said Sebastian Vettel, so look out for him as well. But yeah, thank you very much for watching this video. Like I said, the first episode of the podcast for the season with guest Jamie Davis is going to be out on Wednesday. That'll be out on Apple Podcasts as well as the YouTube channel as well, so look out for that. And then on Friday we'll be taking a clip from the podcast, and that'll be uploaded on Friday as well. And then of course we've got the first race weekend as well, where we will be doing a live stream on Jamie's channel as well, so I'll put a link at that at the end of the week. So stay tuned for that. Thank you very much for watching this video, and I will see you all in the next one. Take care. See you soon.